Who would know fitness better than the Indian cricket team captain MS Dhoni? 5 months back, Dhoni forayed into the 4,000 crore rupees gymming market as an entrepreneur. He launched the first outlet of Sportsfit Private Limited in Gurgaon. Already, rupees 32 crore has gone into the venture with 4 outlets in Delhi and NCR. But the plans ahead are aggressive too. The firm plans to open 200 outlets in the next 5 years through a franchise route in India. It is even looking at overseas markets like Dubai and Singapore to expand through a licensing model. We catch up with the company's chairman Sajid Shameen and CEO Pankaj Guliani, who tell us about the investment going in each outlet of Sportsfit Private Limited, whether it be 1 crore or 6 crore, the route to expand in international markets, and they also discuss with us the potential as well as challenges of the gymming market in India.
Hi, so today we have Sajid and Pankaj with us who will take us through the overall plan of MS Dhoni promoted Sportsfit gyms. Hi Sajid, hi Pankaj, welcome to the show. So there's an overall expansion plan of the gym which says that we'll be opening 200 outlets in the next 5 years. So take us through the journey that how do you plan to grow a market?
Okay, so essentially strategically we are adopting the franchisee route. The franchisee route has got merits, has got some demerits, but in our case with our objective of rapid expansion, this particular route suits us the best. We're also putting a balance in check so that the quality, the service level and the brand per se is not being affected. So those checks and balances we're putting in place, and we've decided to adopt this route and go in for a rapid expansion plan. So we're looking at 200 fitness centers across cities and towns. And that basic work we have done, or legwork of how we intend to go along. The thing in terms of the franchisee route, specifically investment level, if you're talking about, as I said, we've got 3 formats, which we call the A, the B and the C format, depending on the size. So a format like this, it starts from say 6.5 crores, and then you have another format which is say the 7,000 to 8,000 square feet area. That will be roughly around 3.5 to 4 crores, and then you have the 4,000 square feet gym, which is at an investment level of 1.5 crores. So across this 3 spectrum is how we intend to push our whole strategy forward.
Okay. But there's no segregation that how many of them are going to be in A, B or C?
Oh yes, oh yes. So we have done a full mapping exercise at our end.
Okay.
And surprising part is we are not falling into the trap that a 4,000 square feet should only be in a tier 2 or a tier 3. Because surprisingly, if you go to a city like Bombay, right, so there maybe is more as strategically what we have figured out to go for 10 gyms which are 4.5 or 4,000 square feet, but which gives you the neighborhood, the locality feel, rather than go with a mega gym like this, which would be say 12,000 or 20,000 bang in one place, where the consumer would take 2 hours to come in. So we have gone city by city in terms of a strategy of how we intend to roll out the program. So when I'm talking of the size of the gym is not correlated with tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 1.
Okay.
It is purely a function of the needs or requirement of that particular city, city or town.
And also Pankaj, with how many partners are you in talks with, and how is this whole plan going to narrow down the number of franchises that you'll be tying up with?
Right now we have already spoken to 42 who are interested into our venture, and almost 7 or 8 will be finalizing in the next month or so, which to different cities of India.
And also how much investment has gone in these 4 outlets?
Already we have invested approximately 30 crore rupees into this venture.
So, and your investment again is modulated for people of various income categories. So for example, say a 4,000 square feet gym is possible to an investment level if you want, say
1.5.
Say around 1.5 CR, right? At 1.5 crores, you can have a nice tight 4,000 square feet gym going. So the model as such is flexible to also adjust across various investment categories.
And what about the real estate factor involved in is it better to go to malls or have standing, or what do you think about the real estate cost involved in it?
We are doing the franchise. We are looking for a people who already owns the property. So we are having a tie-up with them. The rest of the support we can give it to them, or if they are not even able to manage the complete gym, we will bid for them and we will run it for them.
This would be inside malls as well. People who
Yeah, look, right now we are looking for owners of the property. It could be inside the mall, it could be a standalone buildings, it could be a high street, anything. So we go there, we do our handling, then it suits us.
And you also mentioned about going beyond India, you know. So you're looking at Singapore and Dubai. Why Singapore and Dubai? And
Actually, we are not looking for Singapore and Dubai. The guys there are looking at us. And the reason essentially is, in these particular places that I mentioned, there's a very affluent, non-resident Indian community which is there. And for very nostalgic, there's a love for the game, there's a love for MS Dhoni, and they would also like to have a part of Sportsfit there, right? So our format there could be a little bit different, could be a little bit more elaborate, but we are getting very strong traction from these markets. So that is where the interest is coming from.
so can you expect a few outlets like within this year to beyond India?
We would love to.
These two
We would love to do it within this year, but I think it's a little bit doubtful because I mean this is already almost like we're talking about November already. So, but yeah,
Why? Within the next 1 year?
next 1 year definitely.
Is there any target that you set up? Like how many-
Actually, in the overseas market, very frankly, our expertise is to be in terms of our consumer understanding. Consumer understanding obviously comes from India. Pankaj has been in this industry here for the past almost like a long time, more than 7-8 years. I've been in this industry also for a long time. So our understanding is of the Indian consumer. So I'll be honest enough to say that if you ask me what is the consumer like in Dubai, I'm not too sure. So that's a conversation we'd like to have with the business partner, whoever is interested in these markets, to talk to them and then come to our understanding.
So that is again through the JV or franchise.
It'll be either through it'll be mostly be through a licensing route.
Okay, can you elaborate a bit on that?
Well, licensing, yeah, it's basically two of the separate formats. When we say franchisee route is where we will essentially are franchising out, and the nature of the agreement is a little bit different from a licensing route. Okay, so licensing route is more got to do with brand rights, and a franchising route is more got to do with the overall operation also.
Okay. But it will be definitely costlier than 6 CR expanding abroad, right?
Well, again, as I said, 6 CR is of a flagship format. We also have 1.5 CR. So the range is 1.5 CR, 4 CR and 6 CR. So there are 3 formats if you see in this gym model that we have. So when you're going to a tier 2, tier 3, you could possibly have a 1.5 CR where you can do a nice proper gym, right? 4,000 square feet gym is not a small gym if you see. And then there are other areas where we will go for a larger format gym. So first of all, that is where our franchisee model works out, right? So there is ABC model that we have. And then when you're talking about licensing route, that works completely different. Okay, for example, say in licensing route, say in a market like Singapore or Dubai, we possibly would not be in a position to provide our expertise of say trainers, right, from here, right? So that's something we'll have to do in their market. Then for example, say equipment, right? Maybe equipment is something that has to be procured internationally and it goes into those markets. So licensing route is different in the modality it works from the franchisee route. A franchisee route is where we are hand-holding the whole process.
Okay, so you're looking purely at licensing when it comes to overseas?
Overseas market, yes. To be fair, it's not possible between, say, the team that we have, in terms of the management team that we have here, to possibly go and operate in Dubai or in Singapore.
But the action has already started, we can say that.
Yes, action.
And by next year we should have some, like 2 outlets probably.
Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
And also one question on the pricing thing, gymming, very competitive market right now. And even the premium brands, they're coming up with packages like, so how are you playing on the pricing model? Like, what is the strategy in that?
So where we are trying to change the strategy here to give it to people who value for their money. So even though we are charging, say, instead of 20,000, we are charging 30,000 rupees.
That
so,
is annually. Okay.
So still, we are comparing with them 2 lakh rupees versus 30,000. So once, it's just a beginning, but once we once our sound goes to a customer, what we are delivering, then yes, it's a huge difference.
And also, positioning yourself as a premium brand, are you going to concentrate only on metros, or is there a plan to go beyond metros also?
No, we are going in tier 2, tier 3 of the cities. We are covering all.
So this 200 is going to be across?
Yes, across.
Tier 20.
Yeah, and premium, as I said, premium is also a function of the service that you're offering, right? So it's not that your tier 2 consumer is now also become a very discerning consumer. It's not that, it's just because of tier 2 that you can go with anything and you can expect to be successful. It's not the case. And I spent long years in the sports industry, the consumer industry. I think the tier 2 markets are very happening. And there is a dearth of good service there. There's a dearth of good institutes which can offer value, which can offer good service, and I think there's a huge potential there.